Hey y'all, we're back for another week of Come Follow Me. Now this is 1 Nephi 11 through 15, and this is, apart from one chapter, which is chapter 15, is Nephi seeing that same vision that his father saw, and this time with a tour guide. Who's done a tour, and then who's done it with a tour guide, and what's better? Like, they both have their merits, but with a tour guide, you get to know all the information. And that's what Nephi was seeking, so it's fantastic. And that we get to read that so we know about this, even better. So, you'll see here in verse 1, it says, as I sat pondering in my heart, he had a desire to know. And that comes up in, just after that, it says, I was caught away in the Spirit of the Lord, yea, into an exceedingly high mountain, which I had never seen before, and upon which I had never set my foot. So he hadn't been there, he didn't know where it was. And the Spirit said unto me, behold, what desirest thou? He had a desire to know. He's now being asked, what do you want to know? What is it that you want? And he replies, I desire to behold the things which my father saw. So then he starts getting this tour of this vision. And he's in it, and there's a Spirit tour guide. And you'll see that look comes up a lot here. You'll see the word look with an exclamation point. And you're like, does that have a deeper meaning? Well, not necessarily the word. It is a look and call your attention to. But that every time you see this, directly after it, you'll see like a picture or an image of what love looks like. That's what you'll see. You'll see God entering in. You'll see the Lord entering in. You'll see this whole vision talks about Christ's life. And you'll see 3 sections of that. So you're looking at basically 13 through 23 is the conception and birth of Christ. And it's beautiful to look at that. Remember, when you're reading about Mary, though, it says fair. It doesn't mean fair-skinned. It means like beautiful in appearance. Fair to look at, not a colour. Okay? Got that? Right. Because, me's a white girl, and she certainly were not. All right. Okay, and you'll see too, talking about the condescension of God. Now, the condescension means like a voluntary descent from like a throne or from a royal place, as he gave up what that luxurious life was and that privilege of everything to come and learn what it was like to be everybody else. So that's what condescension means. And it's a pattern of how Christ is. He does this, you see this in his ministry, and he does this continually. He gives up what would be like an afforded privilege that he has and says, actually, no, I want to know what it feels like for everybody, and I want to go live that and be in that and associate with that so that I know what it's like, so that I can have empathy, not just sympathy. And I think that's huge, really, for a lot of us when we're like, oh, no one knows how it feels. It's like, you can debate over this, and I've debated it many times, and I've spoken about it a lot as well, but Christ does. He's been in it, he knows it, and maybe not exactly you, but he gets it. So yeah, I get what people are saying, but there's also the truth in that as well. And then you get like his ministry, and that goes from like 24 through about, I can't see it. 31. I was like, it's marked weird in my scriptures. It's because I put a sticker over part of it. Never mind. Anyway, 24 through 31 looks at basically his ministry, and after his ministry, like he does get killed, crucified, which we know it's not news. It was news to Nephi because they're 600 years before Christ was even born here. So not completely like it's news to us. News to him, sorry, not news to us, but it's interesting to see that what he saw of that and what he could learn from that. 28 is really good. It says, and I beheld that he went forth ministering unto the people in power and great glory, and the multitudes were gathered together to hear him, and I beheld that they cast him out from among them. And that still happens. Like maybe physically he doesn't come among us, but he's there in spirit. He's there in the form of a prophet, seer, revelator, 70, a bishop, whatever. He will come and teach us. He might be there in the missionaries that knock on your door, and people will still cast him out. Or they cast him out in attention span. And this is the interesting thing I find. So They might go to general conference, or they might watch it on TV or on their devices, and dismiss it and make it like, yep, watch that. And people say, what'd you get from it? Oh, I got this and this, to look the part, but not actually absorb it. They're still pushing it from their lives. So it still happens, just maybe not in quite an obvious way. So be aware of that too, and do your best to not do that. It's not always an easy message to hear sometimes if it's a sensitive thing for you. And I've known for myself I need to be more open to some of those things. Not that I disagree with them, I'm just like, I'm not ready to hear that right now, And actually, I probably should try a little better in that. And I'm trying to, so yeah. And then you've got 32 through 35 is the end of Jesus' earth life. Talking about his actual crucifixion. So you've got his birth, his ministry, and then his crucifixion. So there's 3 sort of sections there. And then you get the last little bit that just saying, this is what I saw. He said that 36, and it came to pass that I saw and bear record that the great and spacious building was the pride of the world, and it fell, and the fall thereof was exceedingly great. So everywhere Nephi looked, he saw the love of Christ. Even like those who didn't follow, that were in the great and spacious building, he's like, there's still going to be a chance for them, but yet they keep pushing it away. It's going to fall. It's going to be bad. But you know what? They still have a chance. And it says that, the destruction there of all nations, kindreds, tongues, and people that shall fight against the 12 apostles of the Lamb. It's like, so stop fighting. There's a chance there. You can always come back to the winning side, right? So, same vision again, but with a tour guide, and every look shows you this picture. So you'll see look, look, look. You'll see look, and there'll just be this like beautiful picture of what God's love looks like. But the question here is, what desirest thou? That's what I wanted to focus on, and I've rambled a bit, so forgive me there. But what desirest thou? If you were asked the same question, like any given day, any hour of it, what would you ask? What do you think the response would be? Like, what would the answer be? I was thinking about this when I was reading it, and, I thought of a lot of things I could ask for, so I was like, oh, I could ask for that. And I started getting responses, which was kind of special. It's a bit of a special experience, spiritual experience. And that everything I was asking for, I either already have, it's in the progress of happening, has happened, or is promised to happen. And none of them were really in the way that I would have thought, imagined, or even constructed in my mind. And yet, everything I would ask for is already given, continues to be given, is in the process. So it was like, pretty cool. So what was the response? It's already on it. And a very giving Christ. And it gave me this whole other depth of level of appreciation and gratitude for everything that I do have. Because everything I was asking for, like I was trying to think of the things, I lacked this before, maybe I don't like that anymore. And I'm like, wow, I really have been truly blessed. And I know I have been, but it was just this whole other deeper level for it. And that at the time I was going through some really ugly things being thrown at me of decisions I'm going to have to make. And I was just like, I need some solutions for these things. And it was very clear, like, I'm working on it. And within a day, one of them possibly is answered. It was sorted anyway for that time period. Another one, not yet, but, it's okay. It'll be all right. And, it was just this deeper level of actually they all will be fine. So really have a look at that and have a discussion with your teenagers if you've got them with your family about, what would they ask and what did they think their response would be of what they asked for. It's interesting. Have a think about it anyway. But yeah, what desirest thou? And that actually, if we're desiring whatever it is for the right reason, like Nephi was here, it's going to be given. Isn't that amazing? So yeah, and verse 24 was good. That's what I was going to point out, yeah. And he said after these words, he said unto me, look, and I looked, and I beheld the Son of God going forth among the children of men, and I saw many fall down at his feet and worship him. It's showing that Jesus doesn't wait for us somewhere. He comes to us. Where we are, he looks for us. And I love that. So, good chapter 11. Hang around. We're going to look at chapter 12. I'll see you there.